I'm trying to feel bad for Dick Morris. I really am. The former Clinton advisor and current GOP Namaina Bird is losing his commentator job at Fox News. Why? Maybe because he said Mitt Romney would win the election by at least 4 percentage points. Maybe because he said Republicans would take back the Senate, that Donald Trump would run for president. Pundit Tracker rated Dick the worst pundit of 2012. That's saying something because I was doing this last year, and said his predictions were wrong a whopping 80% of the time. But if you were a conservative on Fox News last year, wasn't a lack of realism kind of part of your job? According to a new PPP poll, only 41% of viewers even trust Fox anymore. That's a new low. Granted, the largest percentage in that survey also said they trusted Fox over other news outlets, but the Republican news network is still getting a makeover. So Dick Morris is out, Sarah Palin's out. Notably, however, they're keeping Karl Rove, even though, or maybe because, he's declaring war on the unelectable wingnut hard-right conservatives. Let's bring in tonight's panel of non-experts. One of my favorite guys in comedy and radio, Pete Dominick, host of Stand Up with Pete Dominick on SiriusXM's POTUS Politics. Tina Dupuy, syndicated columnist and editor-in-chief of The Contributor, and actor and comedian Sherrod Small, who has appeared on literally every show on television, both here and in Asia. Folks, is Fox News facial reconstruction going to work?
No. I mean, they're going to continue to do well. They're going to continue to get great ratings because if your model is scaring the hell out of people, it's that old local news thing that, you know, stay tuned to find out what you need to know about something that's going to kill you. And that's what they do all day, every day.
And it works for the NRA, but the fact is their ratings are down. Lawrence on MSNBC just beat Greta in the demo for the first time. Like, they're scared over there for the first time in 15 years.
Show. I think Fox still got their thumb on what's happening.
Absolutely.
I think people want to watch it. I think people are scared. Well, whoever's in office, the ratings for the other guy's channel is going to go up. You know what I'm saying?
I do. In fact, Hannity and O'Reilly were both given 4-year deals the week Obama was sworn in 2009. But Tina, what does Fox need to do to change their brand, or do they?
Well, I think they are trying to change their brand. I think that Scott Brown is going to be there, so he's going to give the ladies some eye candy.
And Kucinich, too. Don't knock him out. Yeah.
But as far as eye candy goes, there's going to be Scott Brown.
Yes.
But, you know, I think that Dick Morris was a useful idiot during the campaign, and now he's not very useful.
You got to switch it up, though.
But they're really good at letting us know what to be afraid of. Like, you know.
Oh, you pointing to the blonde?
Yeah, of course.
I know.
Find groups of people that we should be scared of, and beautiful blondes, with respect. That, you know, but Scott Brown is the new Sarah Palin too. He's not great at linking a sentence together, using a predicate, but he's pretty.
He's pretty.
He's the first naked Cosmo model to be signed by Fox News. And although if you ever saw the naked pictures, he wants you to know it was very cold in Massachusetts that day. So what's next for a guy like Dick Morris? I mean, he's chopped off.
He's got a face for radio.
I think you're right. No, I think the man's right. There's always a home in right-wing radio.
Yeah.
Speaking when you've been wrong about everything.
Right.
But keep in mind.
I was going to say the internet has a place for Dick Morris. I mean, they had a place for other rejects. We have Glenn Beck and Sarah Palin is still on the internets, I believe.
Yes.
So Dick Morris will probably find a home there.
How does Glenn Beck have all this money? He has a lot of money. The radio making him that much money?
No, because he brought it's all subscription based, and he brought over Joel Cheatwood from Fox, who's a terrific executive, and they really have put together a very smart network that tells its audience exactly what they want to hear, no matter what reality.
He's got a lot of money, but can he see himself when he looks in a mirror?
He cannot. And I also want to add the other Fox News problem is that Bill Riley's median audience is now 103 years old. Another group seeking a new image is the Catholic Church. My asexual orientation. Their new sexual crimes prosecutor actually said the media did a service for the church by exposing child abuse by the clergy. I'm going to repeat that because it's rather interesting. Father Robert Oliver, and I think he's sincere, a canon lawyer from the U.S. Diocese of Boston, actually admitted that exposing pedophile priests was a good thing and the media's not the villain here. Is this a huge, huge step in the church getting closer to being a little bit honest about their own sins?
I mean, yeah, good looking out for telling on us.
Well,
Listen, we already thank the media for it. The courts already thank the media for it. It's like, who cares if the church thank them?
But what have we been hearing for years? This is all anti-Catholic bigotry. The media is against the Catholics. This is actually a representative saying it.
The Catholic Church has all the documentation to help the media expose them.
And you're talking about LA, yes, exactly.
They have all the documentation. But in the Vatican, we have all the documentation of every single priest, that a pedophile priest, alleged or otherwise. They have proof. They have documentation of this. They could disclose that. They could give that to the media, and they're not. So
well, I think that Dan Brown may get his hands on it. The author of the Da Vinci Code is going to be.
Yes, no, he's
saying the media. I want to thank the media for doing what they're supposed to do, speak truth to power, take down powerful, corrupt institutions. There's a new documentary out by Alex Gibney, who did Taxi to the Dark Side,
great film,
on HBO called Mea Maxima Culpa, about one guy in particular in Michigan, one priest, and the Catholic Church as a whole. It's fantastic. It's on HBO now, and I just interviewed him. I mean, it's the idea that the media is supposed. That's what we're supposed to be doing. That's what we're supposed to be looking at them and calling them out, whether it's Catholic Church, the government, or
somehow
or
ourselves. I think Jesus would be doing the same exact thing if he was around. And I mean,
he would be a muckraker. Jesus would be a muckraker.
Well,
absolutely.
They didn't execute him for not rocking the boat. But I'll tell you something. I come from an abnormally Catholic background, and I'm wondering, short of getting rid of the stupid celibacy law and getting over the sex hang-ups and allowing women priests, what can the Catholic Church do to rehabilitate their image?
Get a DJ.
Yeah?
That'll loosen things up.
Work for Ellen, you're right.
Maybe let women have some kind of a leadership role. I know that's not.
But I think you named it. I mean, I think the priest should not be celibate anymore. That's ridiculous. It's antiquated, and women need to be able to serve as priests.
It's not antiquated. It was only put into play less than 1,000 years ago. The conservative point of view is married priests.
Right. Well, in the Catholic world, it's not antiquated, but.
You went to a Catholic, that's why you're a freak now, right?
I went to a Catholic high school, and listen, even as a 14-year-old, you know a grown man not having relations with a woman is weird.
I went to a Catholic religious school for a couple of years, and no one ever paid any attention to me.
This is the most Catholic thing I've ever done right here on this panel.
It's really well. Do you think that the media gets blamed too much? I mean, not just by the church, but by anybody in authority.
I think it's a boogeyman. Yeah, I mean, it's an easy go-to.
I don't think it's too much, though. It's like being a famous person when they say, "Dude, paparazzi follow Lindsay Lohan too much." No, that's what you chose to do.
Yeah,
deal with it.
It's what you don't like in the media is what you don't like about capitalism.
It's about shooting the messenger. You know, as a member of the media.
You don't got to kill him, but you can wound him.
Well, another old institution has some problems now. The post office said it will stop delivering first-class mail on Saturdays. Packages, yes, but no letters. You can blame the internet or Congress, which hamstrings the Postal Service's ability to make decisions and even forced it, this is the big part here, to pre-fund retiree health benefits for the next 75 years. In fact, cutting Saturday service was also supposed to be Congress's decision. The post office simply ran out of patience waiting for legislators to do their job. So it's really a hit on the post office by Republicans in Congress, is it not? They said, even though you guys are self-sufficient, you don't have a budget deficit that we're worried about, but we're going to make you fund your pension plan for over 70 years into the future just to bankrupt you.
It's what they call a poison pill, right?
Yes.
They purposely tried to tank it. And it's very sad, really. I mean, you know, a lot of people, older people, rural living Americans and dependent on medications. This is going to hurt them. But one thing I learned just last year, I didn't know this, the post office's entire funding comes from postage.
Yes.
Most people think it's taxpayer money.
No.
It's actually postage. And the other thing they're having to do is sell off a lot of the greatest properties they have, the most beautiful post offices here in New York and Chelsea and others. And we can look at Dianne Feinstein's husband for that. We'll look into it.
What? Oh, okay.
Right. They get micromanaged by Congress, but then they don't get the taxpayer money from Congress. So they have but it poison ivy is a time bomb set by the Bush administration to not only bust unions but also to kind of like make government smaller in this
exactly.
And so everything that they want to
privatize
see,
it.
yes, everything that they want to see come to fruition.
That'll teach the post office for sitting around all these years not attacking Congress. Congress attacked them.
Yeah.
You got to attack first.
You
when
received
you're around
white
government.
powder in the mail. How does it make you feel?
Well, that was sent from you, and it was anthrax.
Quiet. I don't know what he's
I
talking
regifted it.
I would say anyone who remembers the 80s and 90s knows that postal workers are not the people you want to upset. My panel stays with me after the break when we talk about a very special birthday today, and unfortunately, we're not talking about Bob Marley. Be right back. Welcome back. Quick question from my panel. Today is Ronald Reagan's 102nd birthday. How did you celebrate, Pete?
Oh, I guess the reason I did this was probably, it's coincidental, but I sold weapons to Iran for an appearance on your show.
Did you really?
Yeah, so
wow,
pretty excited.
So you're a traditionalist.
Yeah, it's
okay.
a big deal.
At
And
least,
also I gave my daughter ketchup and told her it was a vegetable.
at least you'll never get in trouble for that. Tina, how did you celebrate the Gipper's birthday?
I kicked a homeless person.
Oh,
wow.
Wow. Hopefully a mentally ill one, just to keep things
Oh, yeah,
consistent.
definitely. No, it's Reagan's birthday. Come on.
This is only going to get meaner. Sherrod?
I did the same thing that I did every year since Ronald Reagan died. I took Nancy out for a nice lunch.
How was that?
It was wonderful. I was baked. She's old, so neither one of us remembered.
Oh, that's so sweet.
That's lovely. Well, now that we've lost the entire
forward.
GOP viewing demographic, that brings me to tonight's F-bomb. You see, every year on Ronald Reagan's birthday, there's always so much pressure about how to best celebrate. Should I declare ketchup as a vegetable for all those overfunded public school kids, or shut down all those defunded mental hospitals so those nice folks can get some fresh air, or just never mention AIDS? Oh, too late, I just mentioned AIDS. Well, maybe I should just make a big expensive cake that most Americans will never get a piece of, and then make your grandkids pay for it. The point is, there are so many ways to honor Ronald Reagan's achievements. Achievements like vetoing any sanctions against South African apartheid while talking a lot about freedom. Or union busting the air traffic controllers, even though he used to run a union and all. Or signing California's Therapeutic Abortion Act of 1967 into law. Just Google that. He really did that. How about running for president, promising to never negotiate with terrorists, then secretly selling arms and weapons to the same Iranian terrorists who helped kill our Marines in Beirut, while already arming the Iraqis that they were at war with, arming both sides at the same war, using that money to illegally fund the Contras in Central America after Congress passed the stuffy old law saying he couldn't, lying about the size and amount of shipments, saying he forgot he did all that stuff, and then helping his VP become president, who then pardoned everyone convicted so they could all walk away clean. Pretty impressive when you consider Bill Clinton couldn't even pull off one lousy Hummer. Now, some of our conservative brothers and sisters might think this is mean, my reciting several actual things Reagan actually really did. But Reagan always seemed like a nice guy. I don't want to be mean to him. If I was going to be mean, I'd mention how he tried really hard to keep Martin Luther King Day from ever becoming a national holiday, because he did. So what about the positives, like raising the debt limit 17 times, or raising taxes 11 times because the economy needed it, giving amnesty to 10 million undocumented immigrants? Obama's only offered the DREAM Act, which makes them actually work for it. Reagan talked to our enemies, dreamed of a world with no nukes. He grew government by 61,000 jobs. He did. Department of Veterans Affairs. Ronald Reagan banned all torture and did all kinds of other stuff Fox News really wants you to forget. Reagan even defunded the public school system, which wasn't a good thing, but it probably led directly to MTV picking up Jersey Shore. Look, I'm going to celebrate by remembering the young president of my union, the Screen Actors Guild, the young Ronald Reagan, who once said, "One of the most elemental human rights is the right to belong to a free trade union." And I'm going to wish peace on his soul, and I'm going to support an assault weapons ban, just like gun violence victim President Ronald Reagan did in 1994. That's Viewpoint for tonight. Thank you to my panel, comedian Pete Dominick. He is host of Stand Up with Pete Dominick on Sirius XM POTUS Politics. For my money, seriously, one of the 2 or 3 best political radio talk shows in the country.
Thank you,
Really
sir.
great to have you here.
I concur.
You should listen to it sometime. Tina Dupuy, syndicated columnist and editor-in-chief of The Contributor. How dare you actually pay bloggers for writing? And actor and comedian Sherrod Small, the man who's on every TV show ever produced here, Asia, and Antarctica. Have a great evening, everyone.